The block was a garage attached to a house which faces onto Johnson Street. 8 metres wide by 9 metres deep is the size of the whole site for 2 houses, so it's 76 square metres overall, which makes it 38 square metres per house footprint, which is 4 by 9. So we were looking for a block in Collingwood because we liked, I guess, the community and the offerings the area has, and we found a site with a friend of ours, Michael, and we decided to buy the site together and split it for 2 family homes. Concept really thought about how we could work with an extruded form and actually add interest and, I guess, depth to the facade, and that came out of a study of a bag that we were looking at this and seeing the way that the light moved over basically a black object. So we used that idea of that, I guess, perforated screen with the little dimples to provide solar protection on the west, given that's our main element. But it also provides a, kind of dotted environment, which is quite visually interesting inside the house. And then the house was designed around a series of levels and different programs for individual use that could change and be flexible over time and as the families change and adapt and the actual house functions in a different way. So the logic of the layout of this house is one that traditionally a house is flat and the rooms are spatially horizontal. This is certainly a hamburger approach where you've got 5 levels of house. The key being probably the living area, which we put on the highest level, and that was really driven by access to views out. And then we wanted our master bedroom to be underneath that level. So there was, I guess, the main movement in the house is between those levels there. And then that followed on with the bedrooms lower, multi-purpose room on the garage level. And then we had a basement, which is for kids, but also is set up as a theatre as well. So the total area is about 150 square metres over 6 levels and 1 rooftop deck.
People love the idea that it opens, closes, small living, small footprint, close off and entertain and then do this and then have a bedroom. So
I think it also, like, the idea of something being flexible, like it's a word that's used, open plan, flexible space, but not many people really drill down into how to make a building multi-use and multi-generational. And this, it's such an unconventional plan, which is, you would think would be quite limiting in the way that it operates. Well, even like having this as a balcony, when you open it up, I mean, it's totally different from having a window that opens. It changes the way this whole building works. You can really see some simple material palette that you kept paring things back, which I think, is really adds a lot to this house, because I think this house on the outside is definitely a lot different from the inside. I think the inside's more about the material and the warmth and the way that it functions, and the outside it's in an area which is kind of edgy, so it's strong and kind of here, but it gives you a sense of safety as well and enclosure. And then on the inside, it's a bit more like a jewellery box of kind of ideas, and that's where the timber comes into it, because there's so much timber, because we wanted to take away from the coldness and
there's so much concrete.
Not having too much concrete, but having that natural material, so really not any plasterboard at all. We also wanted to be really consistent, so even though the rooms are different functions, the consistency in the material palette is really apparent. So we didn't want master bathroom to be different from the other bathroom downstairs. We wanted the palette to be the same. The challenge is in a house like this is that because it's 5 levels, people think about the stairs all the time. Oh, how's it like to live in a house with 5 levels? Well, it's actually not as obvious as it may seem, because we're only ever moving between
the master room and this level. Once you get to your master bedroom, you're kind of going up and down. That's it.
That's it. And
unless you're carrying up the shopping.
One thing about designing your own house is, as an architect, is you probably do the things that you often can't do because of practicality or budget. So I guess we just really wanted to try things that we hadn't done, and then you get then the experience to see what it's like living in the decisions that you make. And I think the environment inside the building is really important, and you can only understand that over time. You go through the winter, you go through a summer, you know, you go through all those things, how the heating and cooling, how it works, does the facade work. You kind of, the science that we get through consultants, and they tell us that we need to do this and do that, it's not the same as actually doing it and living it and feeling it.